Welcome to Satsang. भैया साउंड बढ़ा दे. ऑन कर दो है ना साउंड. Sorry, they're just learning the sound system, so. ठीक है? अब ठीक है भैया? ठीक है? अब थोड़ा सा वॉल्यूम और दे सकते? बस थोड़ा सा बढ़ा दो भैया ना. अब ठीक है? If anybody happens to be a sound engineer, किसी को थोड़ा सा भी आते होगा sound का, to help them, they always are looking to learn. If anybody has, they'll figure it out. कोई बात नहीं भैया. energy. That divine connection, that connection to the source of energy. Not the electricity that'll make a microphone work, but the energy that actually makes our lives work. And so I always love when the universe sends us these lessons over and over through situations in your life where you stop. You have to just stop and say, okay, well, karenkya, there's no sound. What are we going to do? We have to stop. And you stop and you take a moment and you say, all right, what is the lesson here? What is the teaching here? Oh yeah, all of the high quality, hi-fi, this, that, is of utter uselessness when the connection is not there. Only when the connection is there, that energetic connection, does anything work at all. And so rather than put all of our time and energy in the perfection of the outer package, we have to make sure that we're also putting time and energy into the connection. Is it connected? Am I connected? Am I plugged in? Is there something actually flowing through me? Is that divine flow flowing through me? Otherwise, you could be a painter and you could have the most expensive paints or oil markers or whatever it is, and a super, super beautiful painting studio and the nicest canvas. But if there's no inspiration, if that flow isn't there, doesn't matter how expensive your paints are, doesn't matter how expensive your canvas is, you're not going to be able to create art. And then you have artists who on the back of a napkin in a restaurant are just doodling. And it's a masterpiece. So we realize and remember that it's all about that connection, all about that flow. So I always thank the universe for these moments that seem like challenges, but you realize, there's always something so important to teach in those moments. And we begin satsang as always with a question that's come from our beautiful audience and family that joins us via the gift of technology, via the internet. And then we'll open it up to any questions or any questions that anyone here has. There's a microphone there, and just come up, share your name, share where you're from, and you can ask your question. But first we'll start with one that's come in advance from the internet family. Some spiritual teachers say life itself, Jai Gange. Some spiritual teachers say life itself is the best spiritual path. Do you agree? And this is asked by Parag Shah. Is life the best spiritual path? Well, I guess the question becomes, what's your alternative? Right? I mean, let's say you disagree. No, life is not the best spiritual path. So what's your alternative? There is no spiritual path other than life. When we leave our bodies, उसी समय तो जो होगा देखेंगे. But we cannot have a spiritual path now that is about after I leave my body. If you don't make life your spiritual path, you have no spiritual path. But I think what he's asking is the idea that somehow just living life itself is the path. So the problem with that is, if we're not stopping, see, life is really fast. Every minute, every moment, something else is happening. There's another call on our attention. Every minute, something else is happening. Some sound, something's there, heads turn. Some visual, something is there, heads turn. Our attention goes every minute and every moment where our senses take it. What we hear, what we see, what we're tasting, what we smell. You could be in the middle of a beautiful conversation, of a beautiful book, of a beautiful moment. But suddenly, if there was this awful smell, suddenly out of the blue, this horrible smell came, all of your attention would go to the smell. It doesn't matter what else you were doing. Attention will go where the senses go. Or suddenly there's a loud noise, your attention will go. Suddenly something visually comes in front of you, somebody walks in front of you. We look. Our attention goes. We see it, it's so simple even just in satsang. Here we sit in satsang. You'll see every once in a while our beautiful Rishikumars will come and go. They'll be fixing something in the camera or the mic or the whatever it may be. And attention goes, just a visual stimuli. And our attention automatically goes to follow it. Nothing wrong with that. It's how we've been biochemically programmed. It's very good for us survival-wise. You want to see what's in front of you. Some loud noise comes, you should pay attention. Bad smell is there, you should pay attention. The problem with it is it's very good for survival of the physical body, but it is not the way to attain that spiritual state. We're not here just to survive in the body. Otherwise, there's no difference between us and animals. What is it that actually humans have? The opportunity, the possibility to actually become conscious. To actually dive deeper than the surface level. To experience the truth of who we are. To wake up, to have what we call God realization or self-realization. But it can't happen if you're distracted. It's not going to happen in the minute of turning your head this way and that way, of having your attention go this way and that way. It's only going to happen when you're able to withdraw the attention from the buzzing in the outer world, from the changing in the outer world, and draw it inward. And so, yes, life is our spiritual path, but we have to consciously take moments where we say, okay, stop. Yes, there is more life to happen here. Yes, if I didn't sit to meditate, there would be messages to read, emails to send, music to listen to, TV shows to watch, people to chat with. If you wait for life to stop for you to meditate, you're going to wait lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So we have to say to the buzz of our life, stop. Not that life will stop, but that I am stopping. Right here, right now. maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 30 minutes, maybe for an hour or 2. Whatever my sadhana practice may be. But I must consciously, deliberately put a stop to my engagement with the ever-changing world around me in order to dive in to that which doesn't change. And life itself is not going to give you that. It only happens very consciously, very deliberately, very mindfully. But then, the experiences I have in my meditation, in my prayers, in my japa, that becomes my life. If in my meditation I'm very peaceful, but the moment I stand up from my meditation I am not, you can be sure that that meditation has not gone very deep. Pujya Swamiji does a very, very, very funny and not funny. Funny to watch it, but not funny about the implications of it. Impression of so many people whose homes he's been in India and Indian families abroad, where people are sitting in the mandir of their home, doing the arti. And they're singing the arti, and mid-sentence, they're shouting at the housekeeper to do something. Or mid-sentence, they're shouting at the husband or the wife or the kids. It's literally, Om Jai Jagajare Ye Laga Do. Are aise ban mat kar. And they're just middle of the arti. Yelling at this one, yelling at that one. Acha isko bhul mat jao. Om Jai Jai. Acha ye kar do abhi. Now, that's not the point. If even in your arti, you're yelling, there's a problem. It means that you have not actually unhooked yourself from the games of the mind, from the senses, from the drama, from the ego. So at least we have to try to have some time in which we say, yes, I love the divine Leela. Yes, here I am playing my role, fully, completely, sincerely. But I need some time to charge my batteries. I need some time to be able to be ready to play that role. And that's what we call sadhana. And then, we bring it into the rest of the day, and the ups and downs of life are the battleground. Our own Kurukshetra, where every bit of the Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be lived. But I'm not going to be able to live the Bhagavad Gita in my personal Kurukshetra if I've never stopped my personal Kurukshetra to actually have time to sit and read the Bhagavad Gita. Right? If I've never taken the time to stop and read it, or to go to katha, or to listen to pravachan or satsang, or to meditate upon it, how am I going to be able to live that in my life? Itna gyan to hoga nahi. Kahin se to aana chahiye. We have to give ourselves the time to get that wisdom. Or we have to be extraordinarily blessed to be in the presence of a master, a guru, who gives us that wisdom. Through their grace, through their blessings, we get given that wisdom. We still have to do our practice, of course, but it makes the process a lot easier. It makes the process a lot faster. It gives us that head start every day on that path. So life is your spiritual path. But you need some time or some connection with the Master to help figure out what is that path, to set your internal GPS so that it actually can guide you. Great question. Other questions that anyone here has? Yeah. There's the microphone is just there. Right there in the middle, yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
My name is Garvit Rathi and I'm from Bijnor. I always remain confused between two things or three things. Even now I'm confused between asking two questions, so I'll ask both of them.
Okay.
First of all, I remains always confused between things, and secondly, it's really tough for me to live in present. Either I'm thinking of past or I'm creating a own future of myself in my mind. So it's just really difficult for me to live in present. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the package deal of human life. If we took a poll here and I said, raise your hand if you have a difficult time remaining in the present moment, not going to the past, not going to the future. And I don't even mean 10 years ago or 10 years from now. I mean not sitting here thinking about dinner or tonight or the train or plane you have to catch tomorrow or what it's going to be like when you get back to work or back home. My guess would be every single person would raise their hand. It's part of the way that the mind works. Even people who meditate for a long time, it's still a practice. You get better at it. It comes more easily. But it's still something you have to keep practicing. It's like even if you are a professional runner, to get out there and run a marathon, it's not easy. It's still a great strain. You can do it. You're professional. You've trained. You've built up the muscles. You've got the stamina. You can do it. But that doesn't mean that you don't sweat. It doesn't mean that you don't huff and puff. It doesn't mean that you're not super tired the next day. The nature of the mind is to be in the past and to be in the future. It is why all of the ways we work with the mind are about present moment, present moment, present moment. Because it doesn't come naturally, and that's why we suffer. If we could just be in the present moment, we would cut our suffering down a huge %. Very few people have such suffering that an isolated moment, an isolated breath is actually a cause of suffering. The suffering is the mind of, oh my God, I'm never going to get out of this situation. Oh my God, what I want will never happen. Oh my God, what I don't want will happen. Oh my God, what if this, what if that, what am I going to do? Or it goes to the past. I shouldn't have done this, should have done that. This was a mess, that was a mess. Oh, that was a good time, I should have held on to it. That's where all our suffering comes. So first of all, recognize that you're in good company in the human species. And realize that it's practice. Like running a marathon is practice. The body can do it. Absolutely. But it doesn't come naturally. You've got to train the mind. And you train it by practice. Choose something that you're going to focus upon. When you close your eyes to meditate, It can be your breath. It can be a mantra. It can be a word of God, a name of God. It can be Om. It can be your third eye. And it can be a couple of these. It can be your breath and your third eye and a mantra at the same time. So you don't have to choose only one. But choose something that will hold your attention. And then meditate upon it. Or rather, concentrate upon it. Meditation is what happens when that starts to actually work. And slowly, 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 you will find that you can actually keep the mind there. In the beginning, it will be very difficult. Very difficult. The mind will jump around like a monkey. That's why we call it the monkey mind. It'll go here, it'll go there, it'll go here, it'll go there. And you just bring it back. Just bring it back. Don't tell yourself a story. Don't yell at yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Don't label or judge yourself. Just bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. And slowly, 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 you'll get better and better. But don't do it only in your seated, eyes closed meditation. Do it in your life. As you're moving through your life, whatever you're doing, it's okay. It's okay, no problem. No problem, don't worry, don't worry, fine. Just do it in your life, whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing. You're driving your car, you're at work, you're sitting in a meeting, you're watching TV, you're having a meal, you're in a conversation. The mind jumps around. Oh my God, I'm going to get fired. I know it. I know that's where this conversation is going. Oh my God, what am I going to say? Look at how this person's looking at me. Whatever, wherever the mind goes. And you just bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to the mantra. Bring it back to Om. Your eyes are open, you're fully there, you're present. But you just keep bringing the wandering mind back. And slowly, 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 you'll find that you're able to just be here now, as they say. But you've got to practice. Beautiful. Other questions? Any other questions? Yes. It's okay. It's really okay. Don't worry. Om Shanti. ऊपर आओगे? हाँ.
Om Shanti.
take your next step closer to God. So instead of thinking why, I'm going to give you a different question to ask. Okay? Questions are great. There's no problem with questions. But you have to change the question. Instead of saying why is this happening? Ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn? What is my lesson here? Because everything we're given this, the universe is not a system of rewards and punishments. It's not you've been good, here's a reward, you've been bad, here's a punishment. It's given to us to take our next step closer to the divine, closer to truth. So ask yourself, in this challenging situation, what lesson am I supposed to learn? What is in this moment for me to get closer to God? And that's the question. And if you want a second question, you can ask how. How can I use this moment to plant seeds of different karma for my future? If the current trees that are growing in the garden of my life are not trees that I like, then the question becomes, how do I plant different seeds today so that tomorrow there's a different tree growing in the garden of my life? But you do not have what you have because you're being punished or because you were bad. It's not that. Yes, it's a sum result of your karma. But karma is not a one-to-one thing. Some of it is, I hit you, you hit me back. Done. But a lot of karma is a lot more complex than that. Especially our long-term karma. It's about an unfolding process, a growth process, a process of awakening and expanding and deepening. It's not a process of you did this, so 2 whacks for you. You did that, 3 whacks for you. It's not that. You're not being punished. Pujya Swamiji always says, whenever you feel like saying to the universe, why me? He says you should always change why me to, okay, God, try me. Like, here I am, ready, surrendered, present, knowing that you've given me the tools to face any moment in my life. So if you find yourself asking, why me, why me, why me? Just remember Pujya Swamiji and turn it around and say, okay, God, try me. Here I am. Because you've got the strength. And you're being given lessons for you to learn them and grow and move forward through them. And they're exactly the lessons that are custom made for you and your karmic path. Yeah, beautiful. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, everyone. A beautiful day to our family joining us from all over the world. And for those of you who are here physically, we invite you also to make sure to join us throughout the day here at Parmarth in all of the different beautiful spiritual programs that we have and offerings that we have. Yoga classes and meditation classes and philosophy classes. We have a beautiful morning Havan ceremony, the fire ceremony. Of course, the sacred evening arti. But everything is open to everyone. There's no charge for anything. So please feel free to fill your day with as much goodness, as much light, as much truth, as much learning as you possibly can. And I will see you all again tomorrow evening. And I look so forward to being together again tomorrow. And so